Let's talk about something we don't often see but can't live without. I'm talking about mining. When you flip a switch, the lights come on. When you grab your phone, it just works. But the materials that make all that possible, they don't just appear out of thin air. They come from deep inside the earth, pulled out by hard-working folks in some of the biggest, dirtiest, and most important jobs in the country. These are the people who aren't afraid to get their hands dirty to build the world around us. It's a tough job, but somebody's gotta do it, and thankfully, they do. The United States has a massive mining industry, with around 12,000 active mines digging for everything from coal and copper to stone and sand. This isn't just a small-time operation, it's a giant economic engine. The industry directly employs nearly 600,000 people, and when you count all the jobs it supports, that number jumps to almost 2 million. From the truck driver hauling ore to the person manufacturing mining equipment, it's a web of work that touches every corner of the nation. These jobs are the bedrock of many communities, providing steady paychecks and a sense of pride. Economically, mining is a powerhouse. It contributes over $300 billion to the US GDP. Think about that for a second. The minerals pulled from the ground are the starting point for countless other industries. The copper becomes wiring, the iron becomes steel for our buildings and cars, and the coal helps generate the electricity that powers our lives. Without these raw materials, our modern world would grind to a halt. It's an honest, fundamental business that creates real value from the ground up, literally. It's about taking what the earth gives us and turning it into something useful. So, while most of us go about our day, there are people working 24/7 in some of the most incredible places on Earth. These aren't just holes in the ground, they are mega mines, massive pits so big they can be seen from space. They're marvels of engineering and human effort. In this deep dive, we're going to explore some of the biggest of these pits across America. We'll look at what they pull out of the earth, the people who do the work, and the sheer scale of these operations. It's a story of grit, ingenuity, and the raw power that builds our country. If you want to talk about big, you have to start with the Bingham Canyon Mine in Utah. Located just southwest of Salt Lake City, this place is operated by Rio Tinto and is nothing short of breathtaking. It's often called the Kennecott Copper Mine, and it's the largest man-made excavation on the planet. We're talking about a pit that's over 3/4 of a mile deep and a staggering 2.5 miles wide. You could stack two of Chicago's Willis Towers on top of each other, and you still wouldn't reach the top. It's a hole in the ground so massive that it has its own weather systems. This mine isn't just big, it's a legend. It opened way back in 1906 and has produced more copper than any other mine in history. A mind-boggling 19 million tons of it. That's enough copper to wire every single home in North America, with plenty left over. But it doesn't stop at copper. Every year, it also produces around 160,000 tons of copper, 140,000 ounces of gold, and 2.2 million ounces of silver. To get that treasure, miners have to move about 55 million tons of ore and another 120 million tons of waste rock each year. It's a monumental task. To keep this giant operation running, it takes a dedicated crew of 2,400 employees working around the clock, 365 days a year. They operate a fleet of 80 gigantic haul trucks, each one capable of carrying hundreds of tons of rock in a single load. The mine has 500 miles of roads snaking down its terraced sides. It's a city unto itself, built for one purpose, to dig. The scale is hard to wrap your head around, but it's a perfect example of what people can achieve when they work together toward a common, very dirty goal. Even a giant like Bingham Canyon has its challenges. In 2013, the mine experienced one of the largest non-volcanic landslides in history. A huge section of the pit wall gave way, sending millions of tons of rock and dirt crashing down. Miraculously, because the company had been monitoring the unstable ground, they evacuated everyone in time, and nobody was hurt. It was a powerful reminder of the dangers these miners face every day, and the incredible engineering it takes to keep these operations safe. Despite the setback, the mine is still going strong, with plans to operate until at least 2032. Out in the wide-open spaces of Wyoming, you'll find the heart of America's coal country. And at the center of it all is the North Antelope Rochelle mine. This isn't just the biggest coal mine in the United States, it's the biggest coal mine in the entire world. Located in Campbell County and operated by Peabody, this place is a true titan. It was formed in 1999 when two existing mines merged, creating a single colossal operation. The sheer amount of coal that comes out of this mine is enough to power millions of homes across the country. The numbers are just staggering. In 2023 alone, North Antelope Rochelle produced 62 million tons of thermal coal. This is the kind of coal used in power plants to generate electricity. It sits on top of an estimated 1.4 billion tons of reserves, meaning it will be fueling America for a long time to come. To make it all happen, about 1,200 employees work day and night. They use enormous drag lines and shovels to uncover the coal seams, which are then loaded onto trains. The BNSF and Union Pacific Railways run directly through the mine, hauling coal to power plants in over 30 states. Just 30 miles north of this behemoth is another giant, the Black Thunder Mine, operated by Arch Coal. It's another key player in Wyoming's Powder River Basin and accounts for a quarter of the state's total coal production. Covering about 25 square miles, this mine is a sprawling complex of pits, roads, and machinery. It pumps out an average of 62 million short tons of coal every year, loading between 15 and 20 trains every single day. That's a train full of coal, leaving the mine about once every hour. The work at these mines is relentless. A team of around 1,000 miners and technicians at Black Thunder keeps the operation moving. They're not just digging. They're operating some of the largest land-based machines on Earth. These mines are a testament to the hard work required to power our nation. While the future of coal is a topic of debate, one thing is certain. For decades, these Wyoming mines and the people who work them have been the unsung heroes keeping the lights on for millions of Americans. They're doing the tough, dirty work that our modern lives depend on. If Wyoming is the king of coal, then Arizona is the undisputed emperor of copper. The state produces over 60% of all the copper mined in the United States, and a huge chunk of that comes from the Morenci Mine. Run by Freeport-McMoRan, this is one of the largest copper reserves in the world. The mine is so big it's hard to describe. It covers 62,000 acres, and the main pit is 3.4 miles wide and 4.6 miles long. It's a vast terraced canyon dug by human hands and machines. A true monument to modern mining. The reserves at Morenci are estimated at a stunning 3.2 billion tons of ore. Now the ore itself only has a small percentage of copper, about 0.16%, which means they have to move mountains of rock to get to the good stuff. That's where the workforce of up to 3,300 people comes in. They operate a fleet of 146 haul trucks, 16 powerful drills, and 13 massive electric shovels. Each scoop of a shovel can lift nearly 100 tons of rock. The mine is expected to keep producing for the next 20 years, continuing its legacy as a cornerstone of the American copper industry. Not far from Morenci is another of Arizona's copper titans, the Ray Mine. Located near the town of Kearney and operated by ASARCO, this is the second largest copper mine in the state. The numbers here are just as impressive. The pit sprawls across 53,000 acres. Measuring 3 miles wide and 7 miles long, and plunging 2,400 feet deep. It's another man-made canyon that showcases the incredible scale of open-pit mining. The mine employs over 1,400 people, making it a vital part of the local economy. The Ray Mine has been a steady producer for years, churning out well over 100,000 tons of copper annually. It sits on more than 750 million tons of proven reserves, which is why it's officially expected to continue operations until at least 2044. These Arizona mines are perfect examples of how mining is a long-term commitment. It takes decades of planning, investment, and hard work to extract these resources. The copper pulled from Morenci and Ray today will become the wires, pipes, and circuits that build the infrastructure of tomorrow, all thanks to the folks who are willing to do the hard work. When you think of Minnesota, you might think of lakes and forests, but up on the Mesabi Iron Range, it's all about iron. This is where you'll find Minntac, the largest iron ore operation in the United States. Operated by U.S. Steel near the town of Mountain Iron, Minntac is the king of taconite production in North America. Taconite is a low-grade iron ore that has to be processed into small, iron-rich pellets. These pellets are then shipped off to steel mills to be forged into the steel that builds our world. Minntac has been running since 1967 and is a massive, integrated complex. It's not just a pit, It includes a processing plant with 46 crushers and over 11 miles of conveyor belts to move the material. Each year, it produces about 22 million tons of these iron pellets, which contain about 65% iron. It takes a workforce of up to 1,800 people to keep this giant machine humming. The work is tough, the hours are long, and the winters are brutal, but the people on the Iron Range have a reputation for being as tough as the rock they mine. Just down the road in Hibbing is another legendary mine, the Hull-Rust-Mahoning Mine. This place is so big it's nicknamed the Grand Canyon of the North. It's over 3 miles long, 2 miles wide, and 535 feet deep. What makes this mine special is its history. It was one of the world's first mechanized open-pit mines, kicking off operations way back in 1895. It played a crucial role in American history, supplying up to a quarter of all U.S. iron ore during both World War I and World War II. The steel made from this iron built the ships, tanks, and planes that helped win those wars. Today, the Hull-Rust-Mahoning mine is operated by Cleveland-Cliffs and U.S. Steel. In 2023 it produced 6.8 million tons of iron ore. While it's not as large as Minntac in terms of production, its historical significance is unmatched. It stands as a powerful symbol of America's industrial might and the generations of miners who worked here. These Minnesota mines are the first link in a chain that turns raw rock into the steel backbone of our country. It's a legacy of hard work and grit that is literally etched into the landscape of the North Star State. Out in the stark, dry landscape of the Mojave Desert in California, there's a mine that produces something you probably use every day without even thinking about it. This is the Boron Mine, the largest borax mine in the world. Operated by Rio Tinto, this massive open pit supplies nearly half of the entire planet's supply of borates. These are minerals used in everything from laundry detergent and fertilizers to fiberglass and the glass on your smartphone screen. It's a hidden ingredient in modern life, and it all starts here. The mine itself is a huge hole in the desert floor, measuring 1.74 miles wide, 2 miles long, and plunging down 755 feet. It's California's largest open-pit mine, a giant crater in an otherwise flat landscape. An average of 1,000 people work here, digging out the valuable minerals. The story of its discovery is pretty interesting. In the 1920s, prospectors found clues of a huge borate deposit deep underground. They had to dig shafts to get to it, but in the 1950s the decision was made to switch to open-pit mining, and they've been digging this giant hole ever since. What's really unique about the Boron Mine is its commitment to the future. It's a dirty job, no doubt, but they are looking for cleaner ways to do it. The mine recently became the world's first open-cut mine to switch its entire fleet of heavy machinery to 100% renewable diesel. This is a huge step forward in reducing the environmental footprint of a massive industrial operation. It shows that even in an industry rooted in tradition, there's room for innovation and a desire to do things better. It's a perfect example of how mining isn't just about digging stuff up, it's also about finding smarter, more responsible ways to get the job done. The Boron Mine proves that an industry built on extracting resources from the earth can also lead the way in protecting it. It's a dirty job, but someone's got to do it, and the folks at Boron are showing that you can do it with an eye toward the future. They're pulling essential materials out of the ground while trying to leave a lighter footprint, and that's a story worth telling. Let's head to New Mexico, about 15 miles east of Silver City, to a place with a rich and deep history. This is the Chino Mine, also known as the Santa Rita Mine. Operated by Freeport-McMoRan, this place isn't just another big hole in the ground, it's a pioneer. It was one of the very first mines in the world to use large-scale open-pit mining techniques, changing the face of the industry forever. For centuries, people had been digging for copper here, but it was the move to open-pit methods in the early 1900s that turned it into the giant we see today. The pit is a classic bowl shape, measuring about 1.75 miles across and nearly 1,400 feet deep. It's a vast, terraced amphitheater, carved out of the earth over more than a century of continuous work. The mine produces an average of 175 million pounds of copper each year, along with molybdenum and silver as byproducts. It's a steady, reliable source of the red metal that is so crucial for everything from electrical wiring to plumbing. The history here is so deep, you can almost feel it in the air. The workforce at the Chino Mine fluctuates between 600 and 1,000 employees, depending on the operational needs. These are the folks carrying on a tradition of mining that goes back to the Native Americans, who first worked the deposits for turquoise and other minerals. Later, the Spanish and then American settlers came, digging tunnels and shafts, but the real game changer was the steam shovel, which allowed them to move massive amounts of earth and access the low-grade copper ore that was previously ignored. The Chino Mine became a model for open-pit operations around the world. Today, the mine stands as a monument to both history and modern engineering. It's a place where you can see the legacy of generations of miners, all of whom have left their mark on this piece of land. It's a reminder that progress often means standing on the shoulders of those who came before. The techniques pioneered here at Chino are now standard practice at megamines across the globe. It's a dirty job with a long, proud history, and it continues to provide the materials we need to build our future. When you think of Alaska, you probably think of gold, and you'd be right. About 26 miles northeast of Fairbanks is the Fort Knox mine, a massive open-pit gold mine operated by Kinross Gold. This isn't some old-timer with a pan in a creek, this is industrial-scale gold mining. The mine is a huge operation that produces close to 300,000 ounces of gold every single year. Over its 27-year history, it has generated an incredible 9 million ounces of gold. That's a mountain of treasure pulled from the frozen ground of the last frontier. The Fort Knox mine runs 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, even in the brutal Alaskan winters. It takes a tough crew of about 400 miners to keep things moving. They work in a massive pit, digging out low-grade ore that contains just a tiny fraction of an ounce of gold per ton. But when you move millions of tons of rock, those tiny fractions add up. The mine currently has about 140 million tons of proven reserves, which should yield another 1.59 million ounces of gold. The operation is set to continue until at least 2030, securing its place as one of America's most productive gold mines. Now let's travel all the way to the other side of the country, to Carlisle, Indiana. Here you'll find the Boron Mine, operated by Peabody. This is the largest surface mine in the eastern United States, a sprawling coal operation that looks very different from the deep pits out west. Instead of a single giant hole, surface mining involves removing the top layers of soil and rock to get at the coal seams lying beneath. Boron produces about 5.5 million tons of bituminous coal each year, a type of coal with high heating value. What's interesting about Boron is what's happening on the land that's already been mined. A workforce of 500 people keeps the mine running, but Peabody is also looking to the future. They are partnering with a renewable energy company to develop solar farms on the reclaimed land. This is a fascinating idea. Land that once produced fossil fuels is now being repurposed to generate clean energy. It's a smart way to give the land a second life, and shows how the energy landscape is changing. It's a dirty job that's making way for a cleaner future. So, we've taken a tour of some of America's biggest, baddest mines. These places are incredible feats of engineering and human labor, providing the raw materials that fuel our entire society. But what does the future hold for these megamines? The story doesn't end when the last piece of ore is pulled from the ground. In fact, for many of these pits, that's when a new chapter begins. The mining industry is changing, driven by new technology, new ideas, and a new sense of responsibility for the land. One of the biggest shifts is the move toward green technology. We saw a great example at the Boron Mine, with its fleet of trucks running on renewable diesel. This is just the beginning. Companies are experimenting with electric haul trucks, automated drilling, and using drones for surveying and safety checks. These innovations not only reduce the environmental impact, but also make the job safer for the miners. It's about finding smarter, cleaner, and more efficient ways to do a fundamentally dirty job. The goal is to get the resources we need while leaving a lighter footprint on the planet. But what happens when a mine runs out of ore and closes down? These giant holes in the ground don't just disappear. Some, like the historic Lavender Pit in Bisbee, Arizona, find a second life as tourist attractions. This old copper mine, which closed in 1974, now offers tours where people can marvel at its scale and learn about its history. It's a way to preserve the legacy of the mine and the community that was built around it. The Hull-Rust-Mahoning mine also has a visitor center overlooking the pit, drawing thousands of tourists each year to gaze into the Grand Canyon of the North. In other places, old mines are being repurposed in even more creative ways. We saw how Bear Run is turning reclaimed land into solar farms. Some deep, underground mines are being considered for pumped hydro energy storage, using the shafts and tunnels to create giant water batteries. These projects show that the end of mining doesn't have to be the end of the story. With a little ingenuity, these monumental sites can continue to serve our communities in new and unexpected ways, long after the digging has stopped. It's a testament to the fact that even the dirtiest jobs can lead to a bright future.